What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going from downtown Los Angeles down to Irvine in morning rush hour traffic. So we'll see how Tesla Autopilot does in today's drive on our way down. So welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching another video, and let's get into it. All right, so just getting onto the highway now. From downtown to Irvine, it's about 41 miles and it's gonna take us a little under an hour to get there, about 56 minutes. We just left at 7:50 a.m. and we should arrive at about 8:46 a.m. Currently on the battery, it's about 71%, and Tesla is estimating that we will arrive with 56% of the battery, so that's about 15% usage on our way down. It's gonna be all highway, pretty much the 5 south going all the way down, pretty much highway speeds. Hopefully there won't be too much traffic, but most likely there will be because it is morning rush hour, and especially since it's 5 or 7:51 a.m. So I am driving in manual mode right now. Let me just go ahead and throw it into autopilot, and then we will just sit back and relax. Currently it's going about 45 miles an hour. Cruise control speed is going to be set to 75. I'm going to bump that up to 79 a little bit. But right now the lane is going from 1 lane into 2. Tesla decided today to go into the right lane. Usually it actually decides to go in the left lane. So that was actually really interesting that today it decided to go into the right side or the right lane. Thanks for watching another video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I have a Tesla Model Y Performance and I make videos about my experiences. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. A little bit of braking right here down to 40 miles an hour. Some of the cars up here are slowing down, and then we also have a bunch of cars coming from the right side coming onto the highway and then going to be coming into our lanes as well, merging in. The sun looks like it's coming out a little bit. In terms of the conditions out, it's definitely pretty cloudy. I think it rained early this morning or last night. So definitely good to clean up some of the streets, but now some of the highways are going to be probably a little bit wet. The sun coming out from the clouds right there is going to reflect the light off the highway and then might bounce the light back up at the cameras. So I do expect Tesla Autopilot to glitch a couple times on this drive. The car in front of us just pulled out of our lane, so we're going to, or Tesla's going to increase the gap a little bit. As I suspected, since the sun is coming out, it's pretty bright out, so let's go ahead and bump this. Increase speed to about 65 miles an hour. Now we're just pacing these cars in front of us before we get onto the 5 South Highway, which the on-ramp is coming up right soon. Jumping onto the 5 South now, this highway on-ramp or merge goes to the right a little bit, so Autopilot is going to carefully probably trace these lines to the right, but it's going pretty fast, 65 miles an hour. Not necessarily braking at all. It kind of braked a little bit late there, but then it guided through the curve, and now we're jumping onto the 5 South. Looking ahead, I do see some red lights, so maybe there's a little bit of traffic coming up here, but we'll probably slow down to about 30 or even 20 miles an hour. All right, so the left lane seems to be going a little bit faster. There was some area or a gap where I could make the lane change, but now this car went into that space, so I can't necessarily get out from behind this truck and into the left lane. But I'm gonna be looking for opportunities to get into the left lane. It looks like I could right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick it out of autopilot or auto steer. Make a couple, maybe actually I'll just stay in this lane, and then throwing it back into autopilot. This car just came out of our lane, so Tesla's going to increase speed to close the gap in front of us. It's slowly increasing speed up to 45 miles an hour and almost 50 miles an hour, as hopefully we get out of this rush hour traffic at the early part of the 5, nearing the 710 South. A little bit of heavy braking right there from Tesla Autopilot. Slowing speed down to 25 miles an hour as we pace these cars in front of us. In terms of what version this is the latest version at the time of this recording. It's version 10.2, 2021.4.18.2, and I actually haven't received an update in a long time, so this is actually, we've had this update for quite a bit. In terms of my Tesla Model Y, 2021 Tesla Model Y performance, I actually just passed over 5,000 miles, I just realized, which is definitely a good amount of miles for having it maybe 3 to 4 months. And I got an alignment pretty recently, about last month, to make sure that everything was good in terms of like the wheels and the alignment and the balance. Well, not the balance, but the toe and heel and all that stuff for the angle of the wheels. So I most likely am going to get the tires rotated in at about 6,000 or 7,000 miles. So hopefully they can check to see how bad the tire wear is. Hopefully there is not any bad tire wear on the inner or outer, because I switched to the 20-inch rims instead of the 21-inch rims. And I actually made a video about that, but I switched to the 20-inch rims because I wanted to rotate them, because the 21-inch rims, you can't rotate them at all. So hopefully the 20s last a little bit longer than the 21s. Okay, so this car cut into our lane pretty late right there, but Tesla braked pretty heavily or suddenly, and then now it's just cruising and pacing the truck in front of us at about 7 miles an hour. I want to get out from behind this truck because I already got one rock chip on my windshield from just being on the highway. So I'm going to go ahead and make a right turn signal so it can deactivate auto steer. And then once I just made the lane change manually myself, I'm going to throw it back into autopilot. I can probably get back into the left lane, so let's go ahead and make the left change signal. It deactivates auto steer, and then throwing it back into autopilot. Increasing speed now to 60 miles an hour. Cruise control speed setting is still set to 75. Looks like traffic kind of let off a little bit, but it looks like it's going to slow back down again. Alright, so I just deactivated out of autopilot because I wanted to avoid a pretty big pothole right there. So now throwing it back into autopilot, going about 36 miles an hour. So it's definitely been a pretty uneventful drive, just cruising along, following along these cars in rush hour traffic. Average speed is probably like 24 miles an hour. We've been driving for 24 minutes, almost 30 minutes now, have gone 11 miles, and our watt hours per mile is 219. So definitely on the lower side. Our total watt hours per mile since the inception of this vehicle when I got it has been 303. So we're definitely using a lot less energy. So typically when we're using a lot less energy, we'll probably end up with more range. Yep. So it looks like we are estimated with 2% more range at about 58% than what it was before. And so we'll have a little bit more range when we get to Irvine. But I'm most likely going to charge up, actually, I don't know. I was going to charge up a little bit at a supercharger because I need as much battery as I can possibly get for tomorrow's drive. And I didn't want to rely on my home charging just in case someone takes it up at our apartment. So we'll see. I probably will charge up when I get back to home, and we can check out a new supercharger in the Commerce area, which is like a 20 or 18 stall. It's a 20 stall, and it's a 250 kilowatt supercharger, so it's definitely pretty fast. So maybe we can check that out, make a quick video about that, and do a little review, because that one is at a pretty cool location, and it's also pretty close to downtown, and it's the closest 250 kilowatt supercharger downtown as well. But continuing on this drive, rush hour traffic, going 33 miles an hour right now, and just pacing it. We do have a construction area zone coming up like always, so we'll see how Tesla Autopilot does in that area. Alright, so picking up speed just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and make the left lane change. It seems like the left lanes are going a little bit quicker today. So I'll make 2 left lane change and then throwing it into autopilot. The sun has disappeared behind the clouds now, so we shouldn't have to worry about the sun hitting directly at the cameras and glitching out the lanes, or glitching out the camera so it can't see the lanes as well, which should be good because we're coming up on the construction area zone and Tesla sometimes can glitch when the sun is facing directly at the cameras. So increasing speed now to 68 miles an hour. Cruise control speed setting is still set to 85. This next part, we shouldn't have too much traffic. We should be able to hold at the highway speeds of about 70 to 80, and then we'll be at the construction area zone. Tesla just freaked out just a little bit right there. I guess it was trying to figure out where these lanes were, and it got confused with maybe these 2 double solid lanes on the left in the cones, and then this dotted lane on the right. That was a little bit weird. But I'm also curious why they haven't opened up this HOV lane just yet. I mean, it seems to be ready, but maybe something needs to pass with the state or something before we can get into it. Tesla again freaked out a little bit right there. It looks like it doesn't really know what to do when these double solid lanes break off and the car can enter these lanes with the dotted lanes. And so it just glitches a little bit and wants you to touch the steering wheel or to make sure that you're paying attention to the roads. Again, Tesla is freaking out a little bit about this area where these dotted lines are. It wanted me to touch the steering wheel again. And I guess it really is just because it just isn't used to this area having these types of lanes, maybe, or these lines. And so that's why it's just freaking out just a little bit each time the double solid lines break off into dotted lines. All right, entering into the construction area zone now. Slightly turning to the left, you can see some concrete barriers coming up on the left side. Here is where the Tesla Autopilot system usually can glitch out because you can see some of the lane markings go straight to the right, and then you can see some old concrete as well. In the middle of this lane, there is a concrete line right there that is going straight. Here's one that goes to the left, but Tesla is beautifully handling this area, following the lanes. It did nag timer me, so I just gave it the nudge to the steering wheel. Now we're just following along in the middle of these lanes. Still the concrete barriers are to the left, so definitely have to pay attention just in case it wants to get close to those concrete barriers. The lane markings on the right side and the concrete lines are pretty much equal to each other or going in the same direction. So we are handling this area pretty well. Right here there's a concrete line going to the right, but the lanes are going to the left. Tesla again is nag timering me. Just hit the nag wheel on the scroll wheel on the wheel so that it would go away. And now we're just following these lanes, going straight, and we're going to bank to the right as well as the concrete barriers are also going to follow along to the right as well. But Tesla is definitely handling this area pretty nicely. I'm still waiting for this highway on the right side to open up, and then they can redraw this completely. Hopefully it helps with the traffic, but this project has definitely been around for at least 2.5 years and still not completed. Entering into Orange County now, we're doing our last bank to the right and then one last bank to the left. And Tesla always gets really close to the lanes right there, but it stayed within the lane, and the Autopilot system handled that area pretty nicely without any glitches. But it did hit me with a nag timer about 2 times and one last time at the end as we exited the construction area zone. So yeah, this is where I'm going to go ahead and end it, guys. Thanks for watching another video. Please hit that like if you enjoyed it, and comment below if you have any questions on the Tesla Autopilot system or even purchasing a Tesla as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.